Harry met Sally.
Hey, Harry, another episode. Can you believe it?
Hi, Sally. How are you doing?
Really well, darling. And what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm so excited about how it's going so far.
I know. Aren't we getting to meet some extraordinary people?
I know.
All their
Aisha
friends,
and Sean last time were just amazing, and I loved hearing about their collaborative process together. And I'm excited to talk to our guest today about her collaborative process with her sitters.
Yeah, well, it's completely different, isn't it? She works on her own as a photographer as opposed to those two working together.
Absolutely.
So it's really good to get a different point of view.
So I'm so excited to have
Who is it?
I would say my dear friend, Rowena Meadows, here today.
Yay! Hi, Rowena. How are you?
I'm very well. I would also agree we are dear friends and on our way to being dear friends.
Okay, I'm feeling
maybe.
a bit left out, but that's on our way.
On our
Good.
way is what I class
Well, look,
that as.
I have never met you, but I'm very familiar with your work and I follow you, and we've got quite a few friends in common, and Harry has talked about you a lot, so I'm delighted to have you here today and hear a little bit more about what makes you tick.
Well, I feel very welcome. Both being very sweet. Thank you for having me.
Well, you bought lollies as well, so that always
did.
helps.
Always.
Yes, I always bring lollies.
Ro, I
Harry.
would like to, I just alluded in the intro there that we were speaking to Aisha and Sean in the last episode, and we were talking a lot about their collaborative process, and I just think it'd be really interesting to start where we left off in that episode, because you work very collaboratively with your sitters, and I just want to, touch on that. You can, I don't know where you want to pick that up, but
Oh my gosh, it's wide open.
It's wide open, but I love this, the way that when you talk about working with people, it's very much about making photos with them and not you taking photos of them. So I just love you to kind of touch on that process a little bit.
Well, thank you. It's true. I like to give people agency in how they're represented to a degree. I guess I work in two kind of wildly different realms. So when I do a day in the life, I spend sort of like 6, 7, 8 hours with a person or a family or a couple, and there's less direction, almost no direction from me in that sense. But when I also do very directed portraits of people in their yards, which I call yard traits. Yard traits, never quite figured out exactly how to pronounce that. No one can. And that is very collaborative. So that is basically me saying, asking a person, how do you want to be represented? What do you want your future selves to know was important to your current selves? And that is me handing over the reins in a very different way. But I see that collaboration as making meaning of a moment, whereas a day in the life is a far more complicated, very layered experience. And basically what I want people to feel from me in that collaboration is that I saw them, I listened, I cared, I made them feel safe. They sensed my curiosity, my empathy for where they're at, my compassion for their struggles. And then I took all of that information and I made meaning of it and I reflected it back to them in a way that I hope helps them shift or reflect the way they see themselves.
And do you share those images with them before you work on them and put them out there?
What I often do is I'll make a 10. So I'll have my 1,000 images or whatever, and I'll think, what am I trying to say with this set? And the way I do that is by finding 10, and I'll make a sequence of 10 with an arc and a pause, wide shot, portrait, action, something tight, real variety. And it'll become clear when I'm making that 10 what it is that the whole set's going to say. So I've just done that for a shoot I did in the UK for a family where I've shot them a few times, but a month or so before I was there, the woman, her mother had passed away kind of unexpectedly. And so I'm photographing them they're on a holiday, but I'm noticing the way grief is present in all these different ways. So when I sat and looked at the photos, I sort of wanted it to be an accurate portrayal of their holiday, but I also want to weave through the theme of grief.
The specific time that they're going through.
Right, exactly. So how can I take what I know about this season and weave it into this story?
And Ro, do people employ you? Do they ring you up and say, we want a family portrait and we want you to come and work with us on this? Do they know what the process is going to be, or have they just seen your work and they ring you and say, look, we really love your work, can you come and photograph us? Do you take them through a journey before you even get to the photograph, or do you just turn up and see what happens, or a bit of everything?
I just turn up.
Do they know what's going to unfold?
So there's not a lot of prep. I don't really know anything often about the people.
Okay, this is all happening at the shoot.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, I prefer not to know much. Sometimes I'll be driving there and I'll be like, shit, I don't know their names. And I'll text them and go, could you just let me know the names?
Yeah. And how many children do you have? Are there children? Or?
Right. So I go in, pretty blind.
But 6 to 8
It's a bit
hours
like,
with a family.
But it's a bit like that show, Thank God You're Here, isn't it? So you've just got to walk in and deal with it.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like improv.
Right.
It's improv photography.
Well, and that's...
What about that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can go with that.
Yes. Yep. I'll pop that on the website.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it's similar. So I used to be a psychologist, and I'm
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So like
fabulous.
forever ago, and for a short time. So, but in the last 3 years, I've been back into study, and I'm almost finished my master's. So I am
psychology.
In relationship therapy,
Okay.
counseling. So I'm going to be a relational therapist. I'm doing a placement right now with couples, doing couple therapy. And when people come into the therapy room, you are kind of blind most of the time as well. And so there's this moment of, what are these people going to reveal to me? And I don't want to have done too much thinking about that beforehand. I don't know why.
No, I think it's really,
I don't
it makes
want
sense.
to form ideas.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got to be fresh, and you've got to have that gut feeling and that gut response.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gut
Yeah,
feeling.
I totally get that when I'm consulting with people. They often want to send stuff through first, and it's like, no,
you get it.
I want to see what it is on the day, and then we, so
Yes,
it makes sense.
exactly the same. Yeah.
It makes sense. And what is it in the yard traits? How did they start? I mean, that's what
Out of
I'm most familiar
desperation.
with. Okay, good. Was it through COVID?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah. So I think that came from the silly colour portraits I did with my family in COVID, out of out of hysteria, desperation, being psychologically unsound at the time. I'm not sure, but we did those.
Like all of Melbourne.
Right.
Well, let's think about that for a moment. No, let's not.
No, let's not. Let's just.
I think being psychologically unsound for a while resulted in a lot of fresh ideas and creativity that I would
Absolutely.
never have come to without it. So those were really the first time I was doing very set up, kind of tongue-in-cheek, Wes Anderson-inspired portraits. And I did that with my family. And then I sort of started doing them from across the road on a long lens during lockdown for other people. So I couldn't go into their homes, but I could shoot them from across the street, probably somewhat illegally.
I was just going to say, was it really a long lens road?
It was, but it was also illegal.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the validation. And then I just became addicted to those. They're like half an hour. I go in, I say, what do I need to know about your life right now? What's your year been like? What have you lost? What have your struggles been? What do I need to know about you culturally that we can symbolize in the photo? How can we bring items in as symbols of your story?
But it also seems...
And people are weird.
Yeah.
And they want to be weird.
Say, they're all kind of bonkers. Like there's the kid with the bucket on his head, or, there's the father with the mop in front of his face. Like they've all got good senses of humour, The
right people.
Maybe they don't. But you seem to connect with that right person that doesn't want the glamour shot taken or the family looking perfect.
Thankfully, those people find me.
It's great.
And so I think people want someone who will help them bring out that quirkiness that maybe they wouldn't have photographed otherwise. People are weird. Like, I've photographed like this one family, they'd had a few grandparents pass away. We ended up like having like 4 urns of ashes in the front because they wanted to include the people in the portrait. Some people were renovating their bathroom and they had a toilet in the yard. So that's part of their story right now. So the toilet became
Amazing.
The throne.
The throne. Like, it's just what's going on now.
Yeah.
So that when in 10, 20, 30 years' time, you can know what was weird about you or what mattered to you or what you were struggling with or what you were celebrating at that time. And I do look at it as like, I want it to be comedic, but not, I don't want it to be silly.
Flippant.
Like, I don't want it to, like, it's a fine line with those because I want it to be tongue-in-cheek and amusing and a bit dark, but not silly.
But real.
And I don't want too many things in the photo. I want it to look like a poster for a weird Aussie suburban sitcom that you'd watch.
Yeah.
Every time.
It does.
Thank you. Thanks, Harry.
It's so, like, I think that, like, the psychology kind of screams from your images, I think. Like, I can really see.
That's wonderful that you've gone through that.
It's not surprising at all that you've studied psychology and you are studying it still in a different form. Was that really intentional? Like, when you started taking photos, was it a way to, like, did you know that you were bringing that side of it, of yourself, into your photography so intently?
Maybe not intentionally, maybe not right away, but it became clear quite early on. I think when I left being a psychologist, I wasn't ready. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel competent. I didn't feel ready to give in that way. But
in your photography?
No,
or?
in psychology.
Okay.
Right. For a whole bunch of reasons.
Well, maybe you were quite young too.
Yeah, I was 26 or something. So this is like, oh my God, I don't want to do the math.
A while ago.
17 years ago. Yesterday. And I think once I started doing this, I realized that it does have a real therapeutic hit in it for me. Like,
and for your sitters as well.
If that is the goal, the very lofty goal. So I think there's something about, as a therapist, I've said this before, you use words to reflect someone's story. I'm using images to reflect someone's story, and often words as well, because I often write to go with my photos. But there's something about parenthood that's a very private experience. You experience yourself privately as a parent, and you might not give yourself the credit that deserves. But there's something about putting all that caregiving, that endurance, and that struggle into visual proof of it that helps people, that creates identity. I really believe that when struggle is witnessed via a photograph, it crystallizes identity in a different way than just thinking, oh, I didn't do too terribly today. I parented today. It was kind of, some of it was shit, some of it was okay. Like, when there is visual proof of your care, it just opens up a different space to see yourself differently. Much the same way a therapist would try to use words to help you view and make meaning of your life differently.
That's beautiful. I read somewhere not so long ago that you've done well when your adult children want to hang out with you.
Oh, that's got to be the ultimate
and we've
indicator.
We've got a daughter and her partner, and they hang out with us a bit, and we travel together. And
they like you a lot.
I just said to Martin, we've done it.
We've done
right?
it.
They
like
us.
to hang out with us, and I just thought it was just such a simple thing, but it means a lot.
And it's not. They're choosing
absolutely.
you, right? The obligation is removed, and they're choosing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you think you'll finish your couples therapy masters? Are you still going to photograph?
I am.
Will you still
but
do
a
it in
lot
this?
more selectively.
Yeah.
So I'll do both. I'm basically doing this so I can protect my love of being a photographer.
Okay.
And I'll be a photographer so I can protect my love of doing therapy.
Yeah.
I just don't get this whole have one job business.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. So both. I'm not quite sure what it'll look like yet. And I do have hopes to somehow be more intentional about therapeutic photography.
Yeah.
About how photography can be a tool of therapy.
Well, there's the whole movement of therapeutic art, isn't there?
Right.
You know, and
right. But there's very
in it.
little on photography.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of art therapy, real wave of art therapy at the moment, but the photography part is a little behind. So I have some ideas about that.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you,
Big change.
did you find that, like, moving back into the therapy, into the masters, were you, was photography becoming a bit creatively stunted for you or something like that? Did you feel like you just needed something else so that you could keep your creative? Because we have spoken about this a lot, and I think we will do in episodes to come, where you can get burnt out creatively when your job is your love and your passion, and, you know, and suddenly you can't see things in that creative way anymore. Is that sort of, without getting too heavy?
Yes, to all of the above. You just made the most eloquent summary of that.
I don't know if that was eloquent, but I thank
you
for it.
I said it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for people to know that, you know, even people that are sort of out there putting these amazing images on Instagram and seem to be so prolific, like, you know, are getting, you know, we all go through it.
Oh, yeah. Like, most of my work is shit. Like no, but same for everyone. Like, most of what you make is shitty. If there's like 10 photos a year that you can be happy to put your name on, like, you're doing all right.
I talk a lot about, when I'm working with photographers, about finding work that feeds their soul and work that feeds them, you know, and pays for
Literally
their soul
bills.
feeding, and what that looks like. And at some point, if they can combine, that will work really well.
That's the dream, isn't it?
And that is the dream. But we were talking earlier to some students today about the work that pays money doesn't necessarily have to be photographic, right? It can be anything else, and your photography is what is just there, and it's your spirit, and it's your soul,
That's right.
and it's
You've
your
got
heart.
to protect it. Really got to protect that.
And if that means being an EA or working in a bottle shop or whatever they're doing at the moment, and we've all had, I think all of us here, well, Harry and I certainly have had, you know, many iterations of what we do within photography, and we continue to do so over many years, whether it's education or moving more into design or advertising or doing podcasts or exhibiting or helping others. And to be able to be a creative and bounce out of bed every day and sort of go, wow, like, the biggest thing in my life is my diary. If I didn't have my diary, I wouldn't know what I'm doing because it's so different every day. And I just love that.
That's the definition of success, basically, isn't it? No matter what photo you've created, you've successfully managed to reinvent yourself over and over and over again, despite setbacks. And it's colourful and innovative. You guys are always doing that. You're always on to the next thing. And I think that's important, but then it's also important to say when I need a pause from that as well.
Yes.
Like, because it can be fatiguing.
Exhausting.
Yeah.
Well, we did. Remember at the end of last year, Harry, you know, at the end of Photo Collective, and it was just like, I'm checking out. I'm going down to the beach for December and January.
I take January off every year. Because I just learned that, you know, the photography industry pretty much shuts down then anyway. Yeah. But from just before Christmas to at the end of January, I just go, that's it.
That's me too. Well, our wedding anniversary is the 20th of December, and that's my kickoff. And then I sort of come back in February and you know, ready to go, raring, and your brain's starting to think, but most of the time it's just like, am I having an afternoon snooze or am I sleeping? Whoa, you know, what am I doing?
That is
Which
beautiful.
book am I going to read? And it's important. You know, we've got to a point in our life that we can do that, which is, you know, I think very fortunate. You've made that happen.
Very fortunate. And it's so important to be gentle with yourself like that when you need to.
So what's next for Row
Well,
Meadows?
Okay. So I'm looking forward to daylight savings starting again because that's when I do the yard traits. I do them on every evening.
I get confused. Is that the end of October now?
Yeah.
October,
End of October.
It's later than normal.
Yeah, end of October through till like April. I do those. Last year I was doing them like 4 or 5 nights a week.
Wow.
This year I'll do
Is that because
a couple
families
of
are home
less.
at the end of the day?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So
Or
I
the
can't do
lighting's
them
better.
through winter because no one's home in time for there to still be enough light. So I'll be doing those. I'm also doing studio portraits, like my version of
Yes.
a headshot. I don't like that
I
word.
was in
but
a test run of studio portraits that Ro did.
it was a little bit of a
Oh,
shit
hello.
show.
Hello.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh, intimidation.
amazing.
Have you got your own studio?
I just hire one once a month. Try to still make it look like my work. So the emphasis on color,
Yeah.
quirky details. Just people who are after a headshot, but something a little bit more on brand with them if they're a colorful type of person. So there's that, the yard traits, and I do day in the life maybe once a month. It's a big deal
It's
for
a
me.
long time to
Right.
spend in
Right.
someone else's presence.
It is, and I spend like a whole week
Yeah.
editing it
Yeah,
and
yeah,
making meaning of it.
Yeah.
Like
And
sometimes
have they come to you, or have you selected them?
they come to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But that's been hard. So because of the price, because of how much time I spend on that, it's been really hard to price it in a way that people could continue
It's
to
affordable,
afford.
but also, yeah.
Right. It was a lot easier to sell a few years ago. And
Yeah.
I have never really put the price up on that because I don't just want to photograph wealthy people.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for nearly 10 years and the price is not
Yeah.
much. Hasn't changed much.
I don't think my
just because I love it.
changed much in the last like 15
terrible.
years. It's awful.
Isn't
it's
that
just
terrible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
is. And this is look, we're pivoting here, but this is a bit of a problem in our industry that now. Pricing doesn't go up. Everyone thinks it's expensive. More people than ever can shoot, so they just
remember-
get their niece to do it.
Absolutely. I remember back in the day, though, when I was an agent for photographers, and I'd be in advertising agencies, and they'd say, we'll employ Melbourne photographer and we'll pay $1,500. Okay, great, okay, good. That's a great day rate. And then I find out that they've employed a Sydney photographer for $2,500, and then I'll say, well, why aren't the Melbourne photographers getting? Oh, because they're from Sydney.
There's a different expectation because of,
There was. It was that whole expectation thing. So a lot of what we're doing with money is about education and the education of a client as well, and the understanding what your time is worth, not just on the shoot day, but post-production, but also understanding what your time is worth in pre-production, actually working with somebody that's a professional that has their shit together and can get the job done,
Yeah.
So money, we talked about this, it's an ongoing thing as a creative, talking about money and what is your worth. So
it takes up a lot of real estate
does.
in my brain.
It does.
And
And as creators, we're not naturally like business people.
we hate it.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. I don't even, I struggle to even take, this is a really bad confession, but I often struggle to take people's money until I've made the work and make sure it's good.
Yeah.
That's when you've got to have a really
I know.
tough.
Let's just wait and see
No.
and then you...
No.
Yeah.
You got to have a
That's
really
terrible.
tough bookkeeper like I do, or a business manager
I
who I'm
know.
slightly terrified of. But
Right, that's what you need.
she got me into like Square, like it's like, here it is,
Yeah.
click, thanks, off I
Yes.
go. I've become a
You're
lot
right.
better in the last 10 or
Good.
so years.
That's amazing.
Because we are all the same. It's just like, oh, God, can
Yeah.
you pay me now? And people would get up and walk out, and then she'd say, no, they're not allowed to walk out. You pay, it's like, right, okay. So,
Yeah.
look, it's just a thing,
Transactions
isn't
are
it?
horrible.
It's
Transactions
just like for
are.
some reason we feel like we can't charge for what we do.
No, I'm apologising for my
So
invoice
sorry.
before it's
I'm so sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. I've been such a
So sorry
great
that
photographer, but
I've done this amazing work for you.
I just want to ask. I know we're coming towards the end of the episode, which is hugely sad. But I wanted to ask. I recently saw a gorgeous shot you did for the Australian Geographic of a guy.
well, you did the
standing
whole
outside.
story. didn't
Oh,
you?
the
Yeah.
on French Island.
Yes,
Terry. Yeah.
Terry. Thank
Terry.
you. Couldn't think of Terry's name. How did that come about?
Nikki at Australian Geographic has contacted me from time to time, and I've always been a little bit intimidated by that, the idea of shooting for Australian Geographic. But that one with Terry just really grabbed me. I've always been kind of really interested with people who choose to live in social isolation. And I also knew I was going to get a whole day. I do find it hard to work honor, go, turn up, have an hour, make a portrait.
Yeah.
But because I knew I could stay, like I was with him for probably to his annoyance. I was there for maybe like 8, 9, 10 hours with him.
Oh, wow.
The most human contact he's had in 12
Right,
years.
right. It was a lot.
And it was you.
And he didn't know why I was there. He was like, why is Australian Geographic doing this story on me? And I was like, why have Australian Geographic hired me for this story? Let's figure it out together. And it ended up being...
I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Hang on. Who's in first?
I'm like, I don't know why they picked me. He's like, I don't know why they picked me. I'm like, well, we're stuck together.
Deal with it, Terry.
Yeah, and he was so gruff, but gruff in a way that you could tell the undertone was kindness. And we had that was one of the most meaningful jobs I've ever done. Just learning about the way he integrates his aloneness with sort of togetherness with the other weird cast of characters that live on that island.
Which island was it?
French Island.
French,
it's
that's
next
right.
to Phillip Island.
Yes.
It's so close. Like it's like an hour, but it could be like there's no
40 years ago.
Right. There's no medical facilities. There's no cafes or restaurants. You can't even stay there. But that was a very touching job, and I felt very connected with Terry on that day, just in the sense of realizing I might be one of the only people who's really showed up and really brought a sense of I want to understand who you are and what your life means to you, and also just knowing that the photos I was making of him were probably going to be kept as a document for his family as well. I kind of put the Australian Geographic thing to the side, and I thought, I'm making a document of his life for his family, and I want it to be meaningful. I want to know what matters to him. I want to catch that gruff part of him, but I also want to show his vulnerability. All the same things that I would exactly
it's
the
the same
same
process.
And
exactly
did he
the
see?
same.
Did he see? Have you taken the magazine back? Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a gushing
Did he burn it?
person. It was so cute. He has every copy of Australian Geographic since it was
Really?
started on his walls. He was a photographer as well, so we had a lot in common. He, in case he's listening,
Terry who?
Terry Martin, he gave me some very lovely, measured,
Hello, Terry, if you are
restrained,
listening.
positive feedback.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was beautiful. He was ready for me to leave, though. And in fact, when I was leaving, he drove me to the ferry. This is one of the most beautiful moments of my whole career. He drove me to the ferry. I said, "You don't need to wait for the ferry to come." It was freezing cold. It was dark, and he's like, "I got to make sure you're leaving." And as the boat was pulling away, I thought that was sort of a really thinly veiled fondness.
Yes.
that we just shared, and
Yeah.
I could have almost cried for that little interaction. And that is what I'm addicted to. Just
Yeah.
that understanding that we both saw each other in this very sacred way, even if we couldn't put words to it.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, I think like the last question we always ask everyone is, why do you do it? Like, why do you do what you do? I think you almost sort of summed it up there, but
Great.
if you,
Pretty much for that
Yeah.
sacred.
sometimes it's just
really
about
in
that
this-
split second,
right,
isn't it?
just for that.
Yeah.
Just-
you spend 10 hours with someone and then that is that one moment that you're like, okay, I'll do this again.
Right. And I'll hold on to that. And so I think I could talk about this for a long time, and I already have. It's about helping people really construct identity. So as I said at the start, we have ideas about ourselves as who we are. When it becomes external in a photograph, it exists in the world outside your ideas and your thoughts. And that changes how you see yourself. So like you might, as a mother, think, oh God, I didn't play with my kid much today. I was a bit short. Like I didn't hug my kid, or plus I also did all these great things. I made them food. I did this. It's very easy to get in a thin story of what you are as a parent or a person or a mother. But when there is visual proof of complexity of all these versions of you and you can see it with your eyes, that externalizing that experience of you, having it exist outside your mind, changes the way people experience themselves. And it really validates and affirms. And that is why I do it. And it's just it's a therapeutic hit in that way. So
I love that.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah, we totally get it.
I feel you do. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being curious about that.
It's
really
so
nice.
interesting.
Well, it's sort of how this all started when Harry and I were chatting about wanting to do a podcast. We sort of wanted to have a variety of people coming through, which we have, but we wanted to connect them all, like, you know, because it's that ever asked question, certainly of me, is like, why do we do this? Like, it's so tough, or it's I've had work for weeks, or oh my God, I've got so much work, and why do we do it? And we're always asking that. So it's really great to get everybody's thought process and why they do it, and mostly it's the love of it, and because it makes me who I am, and everyone has their own
Beautiful.
take on it. So
makes me who I am. Yeah,
it
that's
was
a
really
short answer that really sums it up.
Yeah,
right.
So fantastic. Thank you
you.
so much,
Thanks
Ro.
so much for coming in, Ro.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing.
It is so lovely that you asked me. It is really, I'm really touched. So thank you for
When
inviting me.
Sally and I were chatting, we were like, this first season, we just want to get our favourite people in, and just
Oh my
people that we know
gosh.
and the people that we love. And I was like, we were like, Rowena Meadows is on the list.
And there was a combination of just so that it was easy for us as well, and if it fucked up, that nobody would be like, what do you mean
exactly.
you fucked it up? But also just to, because it's just lovely to be able to chat about what we do, right?
Yeah.
Right, and this seems like the opposite of fucking up. So
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah. we're having a
you can do.
fantastic time, and and it's made all the easier by interviewing people like you.
Well, I've just enjoyed your company, so thank you.
Thanks, Ro.
Thank you.
While we're on the thanks, I'm just going to thank Collarts again for providing the amazing podcast booths that we're in, for Shaquille.
Shaquille. We are so sorry. We have,
my goodness.
We
that
have had
was
trouble.
literally just a tongue twister, not a.
We've had a little bit of trouble with your name,
Shaquille,
but
to
we know.
Tristan, Ricky, Gabby, and Steve, and to Martin for our beautiful music, and to you, Sally,
And to you, Harry.
and see you next time.
See you later. Thanks again. Thanks,
Bye.
Ro.
Thank
Bye.
you.